Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Kristen. Great to be here.
I do want to start on what seems to consistently be the biggest issue for voters, the economy. As you know all too well, Republicans have blamed Democratic policies. They say that there has been spending run amok, COVID funding, the Inflation Reduction Act. They say that's responsible for the current state of the economy. What do you say to voters who do feel as though Democrats are to blame for inflation, for the high price of gas?
Well, listen, first and foremost, inflation is not a United States only issue. It is high across the globe as a result of the pandemic, certainly in what's happening in Ukraine. What I say to voters and what voters understand here, especially in a state like Nevada, where we were ground zero for the economic devastation being a tourist-based industry. So whether it was the CARES Act or the American Rescue Plan, we really prevented our economy from bottoming out. But then you got to look what we have done since then. Major investment in with the bipartisan infrastructure package, investment in our supply chains and bringing back chip manufacturing to America. And especially here, a bill that I was the sponsor of was the Large-Scale Water Recycling Act to deal with drought. And so this is not just about what's been in the past, it's about positioning us for the future. And Republicans have no solutions in their platform.
Congresswoman, do you regret any of those votes? Do you worry any of them could cost you re-election?
Listen, 2 years ago, or at the pandemic, the unemployment rate here was 34%. Today, it's 4.4%. Our major industry, gaming, has had record month after month revenue months. So we are in a position to move forward in this economy. And again, this is about not just basically preventing our economy from bottoming out, but positioning us for the future.
So it sounds like that's a no. It sounds like you're saying you don't regret those votes.
No, listen, we made major investments in renewable energy. Nevada is well poised to be a beneficiary of that. When I'm out in my community talking to small businesses, they're thanking me because without the support that we passed, they would be closed right now.
Yeah. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi seemed to be concerned about the overall messaging that she's seeing on the trail, that she's concerned that Democrats need a sharper message when it comes to the economy. Do you think that's possible with 2 weeks to go? Is that a fair criticism?
Listen, I think everyone runs in their district. And in this district, I am running against a woman who is an election denier. She is a pro-life candidate, which has been supported by the National Right to Life Committee, which wants to ban abortion nationwide. And I have yet to see any solution for the economy. So we've delivered. We delivered the infrastructure package. We delivered the CHIPS package, the American Rescue Plan, and the Inflation Reduction Act, which puts money in seniors' pockets, saves a family of four here in Nevada between $4,000 and $4,500 on health insurance. I mean, we have taken action to address inflation, and Republicans use it as a talking point.
And Congresswoman, and you're talking about the issues that are specific there to Nevada. Gas is still over $5 a gallon. How do you convince voters? I know it's come down since last year, but how do you convince voters that Democrats, that President Biden have done enough to address that? Because I don't have to tell you, but people who live there do a lot of driving. That hits hard.
Absolutely. Listen, inflation is affecting people who live here, people across this country. They're making different decisions because of inflation. Gas prices have gone down 20 cents in the last week here in Nevada. This is a global phenomenon. But I remind voters, when we had a chance to take on big oil and price gouging, not one Republican voted with us. So again, we have taken action to deal with inflation. Republicans want to use it as a talking point. I have yet to see their plan on what they would do differently.
Congresswoman, let me ask you about some recent NBC News reporting that essentially found that there is a lack of enthusiasm when it comes to Latinos in Nevada in particular, that many of them are saying they plan to stay at home on Election Day. Why do you think that is? And what do you say to Latino voters who may feel as though Democrats have taken their votes for granted?
Listen, I think that any group of voters should never be taken for granted, that we should never expect that they're just going to turn up, that we have to go out and meet them and talk about the issues that are important to them and obviously deliver.
So do you think Democrats should have done more on the front end before 14 days when we have this new reporting to bring Latino voters in, to make it clear that you are doing what you can to represent them?
Again, I can only speak for what's going on here in Nevada, and I will tell you that we have been out talking to Latino voters. I just went to an incredible canvas launch to make sure we get out that vote, and we'll continue to engage them as we have.
Let me ask you, because former President Obama set to campaign in Nevada. As far as we know, President Biden not scheduled to go there. That doesn't mean that won't change, but would you like to see President Biden there in Nevada campaigning with you in this home stretch?
Listen, we're looking forward to welcoming Obama here on November 1st. Listen, if the president were to come here, again, he's the president of the United States. So, but I will tell you.
You would welcome him, Congresswoman? You would welcome a campaign event with President Biden?
If he chooses to come here, we will have an event. So, but I'll tell you what's been important to voters here. First of all, we've had early voting starting already. We've seen Democrats outpace our level in 2020. We have yet to see the mail-in ballots. But I will tell you what's at stake here is actually access to the voting booth and making sure we continue to fight to protect our democracy, because we know up and down the ballot in Nevada, election deniers are on the ballot, including my opponent. So your earlier news story was about democracy at threat. And that's going to be a key motivator for voters here in Nevada.
All right. Congresswoman Susie Lee, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kristen. Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.